Hey, it's Bill from Build the Scene. With me tonight are Phil, David, and Charlie from Royal Honey, the Cheats, and Middle Finger, not necessarily in that order. This is the very first pre-show interview for the SOS PGH concert series, which will be featured Thursday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. starting tomorrow. And 4 Thursdays in a row, 3 different bands each time, $3 per show, or you can sign on for the season pass and watch them all for $10. There are some ticket fees that apply, but with that season pass, you get a year's worth of video on demand as well. That's the ticket I bought, in case you were wondering. So, real quick, we have Phil to my left from the Cheats.
Hey guys,
Charlie below him from
How you doing?
Middle Finger, and next to Charlie we have Dave. Dave or David?
either one's fine. Most people call me Dave.
Dave from Royal Honey. So those are the 3 bands that will be debuting the concert series tomorrow from the Next Door Cafe at In Stuff Music. And the production will be handled by a 10 band. It's sponsored by Shady Lady Studio, Grassroots Show, Second Scene, Flying Scooter, Lexus Art and Design, In Stuff Music, The Vault, Ryan McCutcheon Rhythm 19 Fund, Build the Scene, Endeavor After LLC. I think I got everybody. If not, they are on the outside of our live video. You can see all their logos there. And if you go to SOS2020pgh.org, you can find more information out about all of those sponsors, and you can purchase your tickets there as well. So that's all out of the way. How did each of you? Now I know Dave's is going to be easy. His answer is going to be, well, my guitar cohort wrote the song. But how did the rest of you get involved in all of this?
Well, I got a message from Eric Roger. Probably, I guess, right when he started, originally came up with a song idea and what he wanted to do, and he had asked us if we would be interested in participating in this. And I thought it was, it's a good cause. We're all us local musicians are pretty much affected by it, so it was a no-brainer. So we just, we thought it was, a good cause, and we jumped right on it.
Cool. How about you, Phil?
Pretty much the same thing. Unfortunately for the Cheats, only Todd and Kyle were able to make it to the studio for the recording. So when the opportunity came up to actually go out and play tomorrow night to support this cause, we jumped on it right away.
And I kind of gave Dave's answer away, but we'll let him speak a little bit too.
I mean, yeah, obviously being in the band with Eric, he presented it to us and said he was got a running point on it, put the whole thing together, got a gigantic crew of local musicians to get involved, and kind of took off from there and really got big. I mean, that's everybody's on this thing.
That's, what is it?
Like everybody.
27 different bands and over 60 musicians.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that both of those numbers are on the low end of what it actually is.
I believe that.
I pressed the wrong button. So this is the first time that I'm doing this dual monitor thing, so you guys have to bear with me a little bit.
Yeah. It's the first time I'm doing this thing at all, so bear with me.
So let's talk about each of your bands a little bit. We'll start with
Sure.
Dave this time. We'll reverse order. If you had to describe your band genre-wise and what a listener might get to see tomorrow, what would you tell them?
It's kind of an updated version of like that kind of early wave of like more hard rockifying, like old timey rock and roll, and just kind of sped up, added some punk elements in. Stones, Dolls, all those kind of bands, but a little punkier on some of it. It's. I'm sorry, the lighting just died on me because this monitor turned itself off. But it's like I'm doing a lot of the writing, so I'm trying to like keep it in that vein. But again, modernize it. I want something new, something original, and trying to hit that. Eric's starting to contribute more to the writing, and on this we do have a new tune coming out on the 26th of February called "Cut and Run." And that's going to be, on all your major platforming or streaming platforms, rather.
So,
and I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just want to cut in for a second. Some of the people are saying they can't hear us, so I want to make sure that we're actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, the sound is working on my cell phone, so they may want to turn their volume up.
There we go.
I thought I had it working. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there. It was on, the band and where we're coming from rather stylistically.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like taking all that and kind of throwing it together. And as far as like the songwriting goes, just kind of take a lot of those ideas, throw in like, more up tempo. A lot of those quick, snappy kind of walking bass lines, stuff like that. Cater stuff towards, Bobby Collins. When you got that guy in vocals, you can do pretty much anything, but you want to make it so it fits his style. So that's kind of been more and more of a focus writing wise. And beyond that, just think like blues rock, but with a little bit more of an edge, maybe. A couple metal elements.
I know when I listen to the Royal Honey CD, and when I play it on the show, it always makes me want to get up and move, and I am not someone who should be up and moving.
Good. That's my intention too. I've
Phil
always
got
thought
it.
like rock and roll should be dance music. Yeah. I always thought rock and roll should be dance music, and write it accordingly, play it that way. You want people to move. You don't want people, sitting in a chair or standing there with their arms folded in front of themselves. You want people to have a good time. That's the whole premise behind rock and roll.
So, Phil, I'm going to bring you up on the screen and send the same question to you.
What was the question, man? Tomorrow night you're gonna see the Cheats, man. We're gonna give you some new stuff, some middle stuff, some old stuff, a little bit of everything in 15 minutes. This last year we did release a record that unfortunately we have no CD release for it since all of our stages are closed. This might be the first time some people have heard a couple of songs that we're going to play. It might be the 1,000th time they've heard some of the other songs that we're going to play, but we're doing that because people want to hear those too. It's been a rough year. So, this is kind of just hoping to knock the dust off a little bit tomorrow night, as short of a set as we'll play and as quick as we're going to play it. Hopefully it's just a little bit of a taste of things to come in the next few months for all of us.
So how would you describe your sound for anyone who hasn't heard of the Cheats?
Well, it's really evolved over the years. There is no secret that there's been 30-some members of the band. I think Charlie clocked it around 36 a couple months ago. So, with that, the sound of the band changes over time. Right now, with myself and Todd and Kyle, three guys have been in the Pittsburgh scene for decades. We have Devin Holiday, who's has been all over the States. Recently down in Atlanta, and we have young Rob from over in Cleveland. We got a wide mix of influence. We're all over the board, and we are in the studio now working on a new record this weekend. It's going to be drastically different than what people have heard before. It's going to be a raw rock and roll record. Maybe not quite as punk infused as some of the previous records. Man, there might be some keyboards on this stuff. We don't know yet. Maybe a saxophone.
So I have, if you've never listened to my shows, I like go off on tangents all the time, but I'm sitting here right now off screen, shaking my head, responding because that's what I do in the show normally because everybody can see me. You guys can see me, but the people watching live on Facebook can't see me. So Charlie, I'm going to move on to you. Same question. What should we expect to hear from Middle Finger tomorrow?
Well, as Justin, our singer, would say, we are Middle Finger and we play rock and roll. It's aggressive. It's quick. It's catchy. It's got a lot of punk influence. It's everything that, it's everything and nothing all at the same time. How's that? It's, like I said, it's got a lot of aggression. We're going through it. We have a new member now, and it's, and we're kind of working that out. We're kind of new to, as in our standing as a band compared to like a lot of the other bands on this. They've been together for, quite some time. We're fairly new. It's a great feeling. We're enjoying ourselves right now.
So now I'm going to give you one of my famous off the wall questions. I'm going to stay with Charlie, so he's going to get it without any warning, and Dave and Phil will have a moment to think about it. But let's say there's an apocalyptic event, and the majority of the human life is wiped off the face of the earth, and there's just a handful of people left, and only one song from every band that existed can survive. Which song from your bands should survive that apocalyptic event and help repopulate the earth?
From Middle Finger?
Yep.
Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
I'd have to say the Five. The Five is about, in some weird way, it's about the opposable thumb. And I always said that like a band is like this. Your members are like this. They're all kind of, but then the opposable thumb comes in and it does that, and that's the Five. And I think without that, then you're just kind of twisted in the wind.
Cool. See, the other thing this question does is it gives these listeners a chance to go listen to a track by you before they get to hear you live tomorrow. So I think we'll move to Dave next with the same question.
So this would be a post-apocalyptic scenario we're talking about, huh?
Correct.
Okay. Well, that being the case, I'd go with the news from us. I mean, it could be read as, depending on how you're listening to it, how you're interpreting the words, something that's the lead up to a apocalyptic scenario. I didn't write it to be political or anything like that. Just about that kind of situation. Somebody that's in a situation where maybe you can read it as they're just stuck in prison, or it could be a prison of their own making, or it could be a political prisoner of some sort. I don't know, but they're waiting around for the noose. So
cool. And I think Phil was who we had left, right? On that one.
Well, Phil, I appreciate the question because I really feel as though we've all lived through the post-apocalypse. We're presently in the post-apocalypse. We might. Our three bands might be the reason for the post-apocalypse. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. Man, if you got there's a cheat song that would be the soundtrack for the post-apocalypse and something that's going to, I don't know, you guys kind of missed his little end there about repopulating the human race.
I know. I throw that in there to see if anybody picks that up.
Yeah. I mean, Billy said I can't swear or anything during this, but...
and then I throw that at you, right?
Making in the post-apocalypse. It would be, of course, it'd be our most recent single, Give Up the Ghost, because maybe it'd be time to give up the ghost and let it go.
So I'm going to stick with you and ask another off-the-wall question.
Okay.
So this question is my Dave Grohl question. Anyone who watches the Pennsylvania Rock Show knows that my goal is to eventually get him on the show. So I ask this all the time, hoping that eventually he'll hear about it because his management ignored my email. But the question is, the Foo Fighters are well known for bringing people up on stage and letting them play with them. So
sure.
What concert would you be at and holding that sign saying that you want to come up on stage. So who's your Dave Grohl? Who's going to call you up?
Brother, ain't Dave Grohl. Man, if we're talking hypothetical what if, I think maybe we'd have to go back in time and it'd be a Motorhead show for sure. And if we're looking down the road, like next time there's a big concert, make fun of me. It might be Miley Cyrus. Why not?
As much as I hate to admit this where people can hear me, she can sing.
Yeah. She's a rocker.
Right.
Yeah, it's Miley Cyrus.
I like that answer. Let's go with Charlie.
Black Sabbath or late 70s Van Halen. They're my two.
Cool. And Dave.
I go with the Stones because it'd be easy. I mean, everybody knows all the material. You know what I mean? Like, this one, yeah. It's just 3 chords. Yeah, I know how you guys write. I'll be fine. I'll figure it out.
Let's stick with hypotheticals. Without breaking the space-time continuum, you get to go back in time and follow one band around for a whole year. Who are you going to follow around and why?
Who's this question directed at?
It's yours.
Oh, it's mine?
Yep.
Okay. Jeez. Howlin' Wolf's old band in the 50s.
Why him?
He had Hubert Sumlin on guitar. And the band itself kicked, and the songwriting was great, and it was new, and it was nasty, and it probably scared the living crap out of people at the time. That's the real Chicago blues. Nothing against Muddy Waters, but give me Howlin' Wolf. That was like proto-punk, what he was doing.
I'm looking for a reaction out of the other two to see who I was going to call on next, and they're sitting there stone-faced. It's like I'm in class. My kids are like, don't call me. If I don't look at him, he won't call on me. Okay, Charlie, you're up.
Yes. Oh, wow. It sounds kind of cliche, but just the chaos of the Sex Pistols would just be, talk about a wild ride. I mean, that was just, you never knew what was going to happen next. That would be just kind of fun to just be hanging on there,
And Phil.
Man, I got to tell you, and I mean this with all sincerity, not being smart. A year with George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that was honestly for me, that was my punk rock before punk rock is my punk rock. I can't imagine in the 70s what that scene must have looked like every day. And the music is just so damn good.
They were relentless live, too.
Yeah. Can't really argue with that one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. This one's yours, Phil, since you're already on the screen.
All right.
Tell me something embarrassing that has happened on stage to one of your bandmates.
Oh. Boy,
you have Todd in the band. That's a book, man. That's a book.
Seriously.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who we would take less crap from tomorrow. It's hard to answer that without being mean-spirited, Bill.
Yeah.
It's a fun one, though.
It is a fun one. I'm trying to think,
I did this here. I'll buy you
I'm so focused usually on myself and honestly the crowd in front of me, judging what the reaction is and how the show's going, and I'm not kissing their ass because I love those guys. I trust them 110%. I don't got to watch what they're doing or pay attention to them. I know that they're going to be there. As for former band members,
you could go that route.
A long list of you're playing in the wrong tuning for 5 songs, dude. You're playing only the upbeats. We're not a ska band. We're a punk band. Charlie might want to watch that one with his new guitar player. Maybe some very questionable fashion choices. I myself included, being a 46-year-old man dressed like Mad Max. Hey, look, man, we play in local punk and rock and roll bands. Damn near everything we do is embarrassing to normal people.
So before I move on and let the other two answer, we're an equal opportunity show. Rude Dog, who's going to be at the venue doing the live streaming portion, his band, Fist Fight in the Parking Lot, was on the Pennsylvania Rock Show a long time ago. And I asked that question, and every single member of the band talked about him.
I would happily volunteer to be the most embarrassing guy in any band I've ever been in or will be in. If it's me, it can be me, man. It's fine. Let the other guys look cool. It's fine.
Hey, Dave, did you have time to think of one?
Yeah, this is going way back, like graffiti era, where a drummer. I'm assuming it was mostly booze, but kind of had to puke mid song from the drum throne.
Oh,
on stage, yeah.
Oh, did he? That like sets this question up perfectly. But did he miss a beat?
No. No, kept it moving. I think his right hand might have came off the hat for a minute there, but
I think that's the way to audition a drummer.
Absolutely. Fill up with shots of whiskey, see how long you can go.
Yeah. That's day one, song one.
Okay, Phil, you're up.
Phil.
Oh, sorry. Charlie. Wait, I'll change it back to Phil, make him answer it again.
You're not getting a better answer out of me. That was very nice.
I have a story. It's from one of the cover bands I've played in for the last 20 years. There was a gentleman who comes to a lot of our shows, and he looks incredibly like one of the main two members of the band Kiss. Okay,
I know exactly.
I don't. Okay, and he pretty much, I'd say, plays that out. If you've met him, he wants people to think, that he looks just like, it's like a life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. The poor bastard, grew up to look like Gene Simmons. It was one of our Rock and Roll Night was our last song of the evening. So our singer with his wireless mic jumped off the stage and seen him in the crowd and ran over to him right before the second verse and flipped him the microphone. I mean, the guy looks exactly like Gene Simmons. He goes around to look like Gene Simmons. He did not know any of the words to Rock and Roll All Night, the song that Gene Simmons said, Kiss's most popular song. So our singer flips him the microphone, and this room's pretty big. He's halfway across the room before he realizes that he doesn't know any of the words. So I looked at him across the room. Our singer, his eyes got real big and was bowling over people just to try to get back to the microphone in time because the band was headed towards a total train wreck. Yeah. So that was maybe not as embarrassing for us. I mean, it could have been worse, but it was up there.
So I've never seen him when I'm out at a show, but I've seen him at Penguin games a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Great guy, by the way. Great guy, but
Hey, let's get a little personal. Are you scared now?
Never.
Yeah, this is an easy one. When did you realize that you wanted to be a musician?
Me?
Yep.
Oh wow. You know what? The funniest thing I told somebody when I was in grade school, they had these music people come in and they put us all in the auditorium and they had the record player and stuff, and they were basically seeing if you had any musical aptitude to start learning an instrument later on to be in the high school band or whatever. So they put everybody through this test, and they basically told me that I had absolutely no chance of being a musician. That told me I had no ear for music whatsoever. So at that moment, I decided that, that's really what I wanted to do.
I had that
What
conversation.
kind of pseudo-scientific test was that?
Yeah, science for you. Yeah.
It's pseudoscience there.
Yeah.
I I definitely had that conversation in elementary school, and they were right. And I ended up singing a solo too, because I was the only one who knew the words when the kid was absent. It was bad. Let's see. How about you, Dave?
When did I know I wanted to be a musician?
Correct.
God. So this was, I mean, way back when dinosaurs still roamed the earth, but, early teens, 11, 12, something like that. Started, picking up records. Kiss was one of them, early AC/DC, all that kind of stuff, Cheap Trick. And that's just, I don't know. I was drawn to it. It was something I wanted to do and started jumping in and haven't looked back since.
Cool. And Phil.
I still don't know if I want to be a musician. It don't pay, brother. It don't pay at all. I guess, 12, 13, I heard a Ramones record and knew that there was something there, something I wanted to be a part of. Not to be too serious or weird or trite about it. It was probably 10 years ago, after already having been in the scene for a while, that I decided I want to be a musician and actually take it seriously and not just strap on a guitar or get behind a drum set, and kind of brush off responsibility. To actually be a musician, it's a lot of work. I mean, Dave and Charlie are two of my heroes because they're so damn good, and you can tell how hard they worked at it.
Thanks, man.
It's when I started coming around.
Thank you. That means a lot.
You're welcome, guys. I love you. It's when I started coming around guys like these two, and me and Todd started doing some stuff together 10 years ago. Former bands I was in, where I really realized, like, you got to work at this thing. You can't just go up there and shake your ass and drink a lot. You actually got to be a working musician. You got to practice and constantly keep learning. Me and Charlie have a great relationship. Charlie, is my backup in the Cheats. He comes in and plays when I can't make a gig. So I rehearse with him a lot, and I've learned so much from that man as a musician.
Thank you.
It shouldn't be what I want to be. It should be that, I always want to be a better musician, Bill. There's new stuff out there for all of us to learn and pick up on and steal from, unabashedly steal from. I'm looking at you, Miley Cyrus. Never stop.
That's twice.
That's twice. Yeah.
So, Mark Madden, who currently is like being hated on Twitter right now, but
just now.
Oh,
just now he's being hated.
Well, more so than normal because he said T.J. Watt skipped his exit interview, and Steeler Nation's up in arms because he's lying. But anyway, that's what they said. He's lying. But he put up a poll on his blog today, and the question was, what Ace Frehley song is his best song? And since he came up and Kiss has come up, I figure we'll extend that to our listeners.
Bill, I'm going to go first since I'm on screen, and I don't care about Mark Madden or Ace Frehley. I might be polarizing everybody in Pittsburgh. Two things off my radar altogether.
You were the one I was worried about because Dave and Charlie both mentioned the band.
Yeah. I like that guitar, man. Yeah, cram more humbuckers in there, Ace. It's cool.
My favorite, here, I'll save you. My favorite Ace story is his audition where he showed up with two different shoes on and basically just walked in and plugged in while Bruce Kulick was playing. So he's always been a little out there. I'm gonna
That
say
part I like.
I'm gonna move on to Dave. See if he has a.
Say something nice about Mark Madden.
Oh, come on. I mean, it's all that super genius stuff. It wears me thin. Is he smart? Does he know what he's talking about? Usually, but he grates on my nerves. His whole. This is a guy whose entire personality is an affectation. So,
hey man, we all like professional wrestling. It's cool.
So what was the Ace question here?
Best Ace Frehley song.
God, I don't even know. When they did the 4 solo albums simultaneously back in whatever year that was, I remember buying his, but I mean, I was a kid, so I really don't. I mean, the only thing New York Groove was his, wasn't it?
Yes, New York
and
Groove.
that's a cover, of nobody knows.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so it's not even an Ace song. So I really wouldn't be able to answer that question.
Shock Me is his.
Is that? That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think Into the Void off of the what is that called? I can't remember the name of the album. That's terrible. It was when they got back together most recently.
Was the album terrible? Is that what you're saying? The album was terrible? Or?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I will say this though. Ace and Peter didn't play on most of it, even though it was played off that they did.
Were they just not capable of doing it at that point in their lives like that?
Well, if you ask Gene and Paul, they were never capable of doing it.
Okay.
All right, Charlie, what do you think? You have a take on this?
On Mark Madden, Mark Madden will tell you that if how can I say it? How does he say it? If he had a dime for every time he came across someone who had as much charisma as he did, he would have 0 dimes. That's what Mark Madden would say. And as far as Ace Frehley is concerned, I went to high school with a girl who worked her way up to position in Warner Brothers Records by being an intern. And to this day, Ace Frehley still owes her $350 for a limousine ride that he had to have to a record signing on his first Frehley's Comet tour. So whenever he gives her back the $350, then we could talk about Ace Frehley. I'll talk about it.
He got made the $350 first.
Yeah.
This might have been the worst question I ever asked, and I had no idea it was going.
I told someone one time that their house was lousy with Kiss. How's that? So,
all right, let me think. Let's see. You guys all see the movie Rockstar?
yeah,
Absolutely.
Good, because that means I don't have to explain it.
Wait, was that the Wahlberg thing?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So, along the same lines as the Dave Grohl question, if you were going to be in a tribute band and hope to make it up on stage with the actual band, which band would you tribute? If that's a verb.
Me?
Sure.
Me? I'd have to say Black Sabbath or early Van Halen. That was, yeah. I know the majority of those. I mean, I could probably just hop up with them and make it happen, So that would probably be but it would have to be then, Of course, Black Sabbath's last tour was very good, I thought. Yes.
So you brought up Van Halen, so I'm going to
yes.
With which singer?
David Lee Roth. Yeah.
That's not even a legitimate question.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the thing.
I love Dave when Dave was Dave. How's that? Yeah.
If you listen to this Friday's Pennsylvania Rock Show, this came up. I was scrolling through Facebook, and it was the first argument I've seen on Facebook in forever that wasn't political, and it was who was better, Sammy or DLR. And the one valid point I saw in Sammy's direction was that Sammy could still sing both of their songs currently, whereas David really can't. However, I'm with you. I think they were better with David Lee Roth. He's just a better front man. It's more exciting.
I think OU812 is a great record. But I think it's, with Sammy, I think it's their best one. But in my mind, it doesn't compare to like the energy of like Fair Warning or Women and Children First. And that's the Van Halen I love the most.
Okay, how about let's go with Dave this time.
What's this question again? I'm sorry.
I was hoping you remembered because
you lost him, Charlie. You lost him, Charlie.
Tribute band thing?
Yes.
Like what would? Oh God. Yeah, I mean, it's like such a broad question. I'd want to form an actual, could pull it off, original James Brown and the JBs tribute band.
Damn.
Yeah.
I join that. I join that. Let me give you. I join that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Full scale, horns, everything.
Yeah, I join that.
Who's doing the dancing?
Phil.
I'll do the dancing, man. I can't play this bass part yet, but I'll do the dancing.
The only song that comes to mind when I think of James Brown is the California Raisins. That's immediately into my head.
What is that? Do I get a cold sweat?
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I don't know karate, but I know crazy.
That's awesome. Guy wrote a song about popcorn.
Yeah. Hot tub.
Popcorn.
Gotta get in hot tub. Hot tub. Yeah.
That wasn't far off. That absolutely could have been a James Brown song.
I don't even remember who I talked to on this question so far. Is it Phil's turn?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a loaded question, Bill. Because I mean, honestly,
I don't know if you noticed, but they've all been loaded.
Well, I'm getting loaded too. I don't know if you've noticed. I mean, you got hits like blood pollution, stand up and shout. Like, I mean, it's got to be still Dragon, right? Like, you've got to do a tribute of the tribute band from the movie. There was a tribute to the other guys doing the tribute. It was awesome. So
I think I'm inviting Phil on the PA Rock Show because I feel like we could have some fun.
And it's a pandemic, brother.
I don't think you can afford all the vodka that it would take.
Never vodka, brother. You know it's always bourbon.
I know.
All right, so since you're on the screen,
okay, and the saw.
What is something that fans of the Cheats they don't know about you that they would be surprised to learn?
Oh my God, that we are honestly probably the most laid back, normal, quiet guys. We're all very, very good at putting ourselves out there in public. We're quiet dudes, man. Charlie, you could probably attest this. You've been at rehearsal with us. We can just sit there and chill and be relaxed. It's a peaceful group of guys, regardless of how rugged and handsome we look. I mean, we're not lumberjacks or anything. We're not living that kind of lifestyle. We're for the most part, we're older guys. We're quiet guys. We're not the scenesters like we used to be. I think we're probably a lot more lame and laid back than what most people would think.
See,
this is going to be edited out. This part's edited out, right? Yeah, edit that out.
Absolutely not.
We're just absolute maniacs all the time.
I hate editing video. Plus, it's live. It's too late.
I meant to say we're all giant lovers of turtles. We all have lots of pet turtles. That's the thing that you don't know about the Chiefs.
Okay, Dave, same question.
I'm sorry, me? All right. And this, I'm sorry, something
that your fans would be surprised to learn about you.
About me or the band in general?
Either way.
Okay. So, I mean, most people are aware of Angela's obscure collection of 16th century monocles, right? No? Okay.
That was awesome.
Speaking
of Angela, let me cut you off for a second. Yeah. Speaking of Ange ones, the Cosmosonics came to my house one time. And I had I had no background information, and they showed up in character with the platform boots and the guy liner, and they knocked on the door, and I was like, "Whoa!" And they came in and hung out and chatted. That was probably like 2005 on the Rock Show, but that's my memory. He walked in, and
first up, I think Angelo needs a collection of monocles. Or at least a monocle to wear on stage occasionally, but beyond that, I don't know. It's kind of like to Phil's point there. It's we're getting older. We're not partied every night. We do it when we're playing a show. It's Friday night, have a few drinks, but especially during pandemic times. It's not like everybody's going out to bars every night anymore. So, you get older, chill out a little bit, hopefully.
And Charlie, you had a little bit of time to think about it.
Yeah, like I said, Phil brought up a good point. I mean, that is true. I mean, you would think that, like, by the music that we play, that we would be, these, Cape Crusaders of chaos, but we're not. I actually had, when I was in my 30s, I had moved into the duplex, and there was a guy there who kind of knew, what I did, and he told me about a year later, he said that when I heard you were moving in next to me, I didn't know what to expect. And he said, you were probably one of the most laid back people I've ever been around. And, that's probably,
Hear me?
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it, just you and me now?
I think my internet died for a second. Can you guys hear me?
I hear you, Bill. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I hear Bill and Dave and Phil. I hear everybody. So
All I can hear is Charlie.
Poor bastard.
That's the only thing I want to hear is Charlie.
Yeah.
I think we're back on. So I think maybe we should talk a little bit about the venues. I know without the venues, there's no place for the bands to play. And without the bands, there's nothing for me to do with my live streaming and podcast. So it's kind of like a circle of life. So my question, and I think we'll probably leave on this one, is what drew you to this project? Was it having a chance to play live again? Is it being able to help the venues and the service staff that's involved with the shows? I mean, what exactly do you want the people to know when we tell them that they should go ahead and pay the $3 or the $10 and watch these live streams?
Me? Charlie?
Yep.
You want me to? Okay. When you've been doing it as long as I have, Phil has, Dave has, we've been doing this for a very long time, and we've been to a lot of venues. We've met a lot of people who work in these venues, and to be honest with you, we've probably established, relationships and become friends, and I know there's people that I hang out with today that I never would have, that maybe worked in these places or owned these places, in the past. And, they've become like, also our friends. When you see your friends like hurting and there's not, they can't do anything about it. I mean, they're like forced to do this. If they could change that, they would. If they could open, they would. They're and it hurts them. So to be able to, to take some, like, I don't know. When it comes to me, I don't really like using the word talent. I basically, scream into a microphone when I sing. I mean, I'm not, I just kind of go up there sometimes and just, let it fly. But, if I can somehow use what I have to make their lives better, then you just do it. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
And Dave, your thoughts?
I apologize. I can't hear anything right now.
Okay.
Was there a question that I should?
Yeah. Just
Who do you hear? Who do you hear? Who do you hear right now?
I can
hear
me.
Me.
Yeah, I can.
He's asking why we did this. I will, as far as like the clubs and stuff like that. I mean, what made us, want to do that for them?
Yeah, it's because with COVID right now, this is just a situation in this country. They're dying. They have no stream of income, no way to pay their leases, their mortgages, anything like that. There's been really no governmental support. Somebody has to step up and do it. We want to keep live music and the arts to continue to be a thing in this country. And without something soon, and who knows how long the situation is going to drag out, it's, the arts and music they're going to die in this country. And I don't think any of us want to see that. So do what you can. If it's financial support, coming out to places that can do something with the social distancing, do whatever you can. Just directly donate money to your favorite places if you got it like that. It's because the situation's really dire, and that's just this specific thing that we're into. But, entertainment as a whole right now is absolutely, it's circling the drain. And, this isn't going to get resolved in the next 6 weeks or anything. So, everybody do what they can to chip in and keep this stuff alive. Whether or not you're totally in love with it, I think we all appreciate the need for the arts, for entertainment in our lives, and for everybody else's too.
Amen.
Oh, well, apparently I'm bringing everybody up. But Phil, what's your take?
Cool.
Bill, I've thought a lot about this in the last week, knowing that we're going to have this interview tonight, and I was really questioning, where my heart's at, where, just the world is at. We as musicians, we are the street survivors, man. The three of us guys and you tonight can write 5 songs to go stand on a street corner and play. So it can't be about my ego or Dave and Charlie's ego or our band's egos. We'll survive. We can write records and record records, and we can go busk on a corner. We can play a friend's basement. These venues that are suffering from this, that's all they got. They don't have options. They can't lock their doors and sneak 500 people in the back door and have Monster Magnet play. The small bars that we cut our teeth in that we still play in. If our bands were to go, down to excuses tomorrow night instead of to end stuff, George would get shut down for having us down there with 50, 60, 100 people. They don't have the options that we have as artists and musicians. We'll survive. We'll find a way to be able to get our stuff out there. Any musician who has not been creating this last year, pack your stuff and stay home. Get out there, write some songs, stream it. Anything you got to do. Okay. Yeah, we're the reason for a venue, but the venue is there for us. We got to, do something to support these people. These are people, like Charlie said, these are friends. These aren't strangers. I can't tell you how many bars I've gone to on the road, 5 states away, where I walk in and they treated me like family. They're dying out there. They're barely making do. They have no options. Give a couple bucks, man. All these places are open. You can't get to see me shake my ass on stage, but you could go down and buy a couple beers and a burger. Do what you can to help them out. These bars and venues are gone. Yeah, somebody will come back and buy it. They'll get it in a fire sale, man. It's going to suck. It ain't going to be the place that we all loved. Help support local. Help support these stages, man.
Otherwise,
they're gone.
They become corporate. They become corporate monstrosities. It's going to be the Amazon.
I can't drink like this at Fuddruckers, brother.
No,
don't throw me out.
Or the Amazon Prime rock and roll experience, or whatever comes out of this. Plus, hey,
folks like us get banned from Applebee's.
We got jobs too. We got day jobs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One thing, another real quick and a quick note. As far as another reason why I was just so excited when I found out that my band was gonna, we were gonna have a night to play with the Cheats and play with Royal Honey. I love these guys. We gig together. We've gigged together as multiple band shows. Middle Finger Royal Honey, Middle Finger to Cheats. We've all we've done, and it's just going to be great to be like around this atmosphere tomorrow, even though it's not going to be open to the public per se, but just to be able to just get up and crank it up with these guys is going to be fantastic, and I'm very, very much looking forward to it.
I'm coming for work, man. I'm going to stink tomorrow.
On that note, I'm going to point out that I will be sitting right over there on my couch watching from home.
Perfect.
We'll find you, Bill. We're going to bring the funk to your house too, brother.
You might be able to take a good breath. You might be able to catch it. If Phil said he's going to stink, believe me, the man's going to stink.
Charlie knows.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on, hanging out with me.
Thank
for
you, brother.
Thank you.
what I thought was going to be like 15 minutes, but we're an hour in and people are hanging with us. We still have pretty much the same amount of people that we did when we went live. So
You guys are suckers. You should have bailed and watched Jeopardy. I heard that new guy's okay.
I don't think I'd be watching me that long.
Hey, thanks to everybody who stuck around and watched.
So make sure that you head to sos2020pgh.org/concerts, which I'll throw up on the screen again right there. That's where you can go to purchase your tickets. As I said, there are some small ticket fees, but it's $3 per show, or $10 for the whole season, plus fees. I think it was $13.33 for the whole season, which is nothing. It's four nights, 12 bands for $13.33. That's
a throwback. Those are 2007 prices.
That's like $1.11 a show.
Yeah. That's a pub on a band, Thursday prices. Come on, pay up.
Speaking of venues that I would love to have back,
all of them.
Yeah.
But all right, so we're gonna let the gentlemen go about their evening, and make sure you check them out live tomorrow starting at 6 p.m. And again, you can get those tickets at sos2020pgh.org/concerts. And I guess I'll be hanging out with you from my living room tomorrow while they are on stage.
Cool.
So once again, thanks everyone for hanging out with us, and thanks to Phil, Dave, and Charlie for putting up with my crazy questions for a little while.
Hey, thank you, man.
All right. Thanks, guys. Everybody have a good night.
Thank you, guys.